Get back to screen share. All right, so kind of went a little out of order here because of the ed chats that were on earlier, but let's do a little rewind here, and basically outline 3 steps to starting to cultivate your personal learning network. And the first step in that chain is to read. There are a lot of good books out there that you can read. One of the things, our field and our class being centered on educational technology, reading is kind of an interesting paradigm. In a lot of different professions and in a lot of different areas, you write a book and that book stays good for quite a while. But in ed tech, just a quick glimpse here. I think the book is called Can Do with Google Classroom. Okay, so there's a book called 50 Things You Can Do with Google Classroom. And it came out May 1st, 2015. And here's the thing about a book like this is that it's full of great stuff regarding Google Classroom. But since May 1st, when this was published, which means what was in it was written long before that, because it had to go through all the publishing stuff, right? Google Classroom, since May 1st, has updated, like significantly updated, 3 times. Because Google is Google and technology is technology, and it's always moving forward. So when we talk about reading, reading kind of takes on a different role and a different way of doing the reading when you're in the world of educational technology. One of the main ways that you read to stay updated, to find out information, to stay up on current updates and different things that are happening, and maybe some things that will poke and prod your brain and make you maybe think a little differently about teaching and learning and all that good stuff, is by reading blogs. And luckily there are tons of blogs out there dealing with educational technology, with education in general, and everything in between, everything that is encompassed in the educational sphere. Someone's writing about it in a blog. Okay, I've got a list here of some blogs that I follow. Before we dive into any of these blogs, I want to push down a little bit, and then we'll go back up to some of those blogs. This symbol right here, you might have seen it. I'm sure that your eyes have scanned it, whether you remember it or not. This symbol stands for RSS. RSS, which is an acronym for Really Simple Syndication. And I want to give you an example of what RSS looks like. So I created this dummy 515 blog site basically to show you guys what it should look like as a model for you. And one of the things that I left in it, in my Weebly site over here, is this RSS feed widget. Okay, and it's right here, the blog feed. So like if you dragged it over there, it would just appear there, right? So what the RSS feed would do, if I'm on the actual site itself and I clicked on it, it would open up all of that. That's all code right there. So it's a lot. If you don't know code, this is RSS code. It's kind of like internet language. But basically, what this is all this code basically dictates a subscription. Okay, and so behind every blog is this RSS code. Okay, so it makes every blog subscribable. And the great thing about subscribing to blogs is you don't have to pay. They give it to you for free. So I'm going to show you one of the, and so back in the day when you subscribed to blogs, you kind of had to know your way around RSS a little bit. Now you don't. There are very easy ways to subscribe to blogs, and we're going to do a little bit of that right now. So what I'd like you to do is open up a tab and go to feedly.com, feedly.com. Google used to have a really cool blog reader subscription, RSS aggregator called Google Reader, and then for some reason they got rid of it. Google does that from time to time, and getting rid of Google Reader was one of the least popular things that they did. What we're going to do now is, if you don't already have a Feedly account, you can click this yellow Get Started button. I'm going to go ahead and do that too. And you're going to get a little pop-up window that says create an account and access your Feedly everywhere. And you can go ahead and click on Continue with Google. And again, Google always asks for a handshake permission. Google would like to let Feedly view my email address and view your basic profile info. And since that stuff's already all over the internet, I just let Feedly do it. So go ahead and do that, and then you're just going to end up on a big kind of a blank page here that has what they call starter kits. I'll give you a minute to get there. Down here at the bottom, you can see that if you're looking at my screen, you can see mine. If you're looking at your screen, you can see yours. If you logged in with Google, it'll have your Google account down here, in this case, mrounds@apu.edu. I haven't used Feedly with my APU account before, that's why it's empty. I'll show you what my Feedly account, the Feedly account that I use, looks like in a moment. If you're just kind of getting started, baby steps, using a blog aggregator or a reader, they have these things called starter kits. So if I'm interested in gaming or baking or photography or food or tech or whatever, I could click on one of these and it would open up blogs that are in these areas. Or I could just search by title or URL or topic. Okay, so let's say that, just out of curiosity, I typed in education. And what I get here are a bunch of sites that have to do with education. They're blogs about education. I click on show more sites and I get more and more and more. Okay, lots of blogs on education. Okay, it looks like they give me about 20 different blogs on education. So what I can do is click on this blog. So this is a blog that I follow called Free Technology for Teachers. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it's going to give me a glimpse at the types of articles that's on Free Technology for Teachers. 4 ways visual literacy is being taught in classrooms to empower learning. You can book me, streamline meeting scheduling. Try Poetica's WordPress plugin. How to use Class Dojo's new class story feature. 2 easy ways to gather feedback on during slide presentations. Easy way to create strong complex passwords. Gmail events automatically added to Google Calendar. So I'm seeing that there's it's kind of technical. There's introduction to some tools, how to use some tools, um, an article on student presentations. So I look at this and I think this looks like a blog that I might want to follow. Feedly makes it very easy. It's got a little plus button right up here on the top right, plus Feedly. I click on it and I can see here it opens up a panel on the left-hand side. It gives me the title and it puts it in a collection for me, education collection. And when I click add, this is now added to my feed. And now if I look over here on the left-hand side, I've got some stuff now. Under education, I have free technology for teachers. Okay, that blog is now in my Feedly. All right, if I scroll down a little more, I'll find another, here's education on NPR. So I'll open that one up. Let me check that one out. Obama makes college aid easier. Virginia schools suspend students for Confederate flag clothing. How to make the most out of your 10 minutes with a teacher. School nurses. Dress code drama. Okay, I'm not super interested in this one. I'm going to get rid of that one. Here's another one, educational technology and mobile learning. 10 of the best Windows apps for teachers. 7 Google Chrome apps every teacher should know about. Some wonderful iPad apps. There's a lot of apps here. A lot of apps. Some useful resources to reinforce STEM curriculum. 6 things every teacher should be able to do on the new Google Forms. So I'm looking at this now and I'm like, okay, this is a lot of tools, a lot of stuff that I could use in the classroom. And I'm speaking personally, this is the kind of blog that I dig because it's all about tools. And I love tools, and I love learning about new tools, and I love introducing new tools to my students. So I'm going to add that one. And I might create a new collection, and I might call it specifically EdTech. And so now I've just added that to a new collection that I call EdTech. So now if I close that window out, I now have 2 collections, EdTech and Education. Okay, so in that way now, I'm finding blogs that interest me. I'm gonna add a couple more here real quick that I know that I like. Here's Edudemic. I like that one. I can just hit the plus sign and add that one. Here's another one that sounds provocative, Hack Education. I'm going to add that one to my education collection. Let's see. New York Times Education. Let's check that one out. And I'm going to add it, knowing that I can always remove them if I don't like them, you know. So now I have 5. You can see 1, 2, I have educational technology and mobile learning, Edudemic, free technology for teachers, Hack Education, and New York Times Education. In total, there are, let's see, 47. There's 47 blog posts because it's up to 10, right? So there's 10 from this, 8 from that, so on and so forth. So now when if I come over here and I click on all, it's now going to line these up. I can look at them in different ways, but it's going to line these up now. So here's an article called EdTech Might Make Things Worse. So now what? From Hack Education. And I didn't have to go to the Hack Education site to find it. I found it right here in my blog aggregator. So when I click on that now, I can take a look at that article and I can just read it right here in my reader. And when I'm done reading that, I can open up a new one. Okay, and it fades it out to gray when I've read it. Okay, boy arrested for clock gets White House invitation. Might want to check that out real quick. And actually, this is from New York Times, so it's asking me to visit the website, which I can do. It'll open up a new tab and open it up in a different window. So in this way, I've got all of the things that I want to read together in one place, so I don't have to jump from site to site to site to site. So this is the one I just started, but this is my Feedly. Now, this is I would have shown you this on the iPad. They have got an iPad app. They've got an Android or iPhone app, so that you can access your Feedly anywhere. For some reason, my my app that I have on my computer called Reflector that allows me to show my iPad on my screen is not working. And then I even uninstalled it and reinstalled it, and there's a it's not playing nice. So you can see the blogs that I read. I've got a culture group. I've got ed tech. I've got a lot in there. Education. I've got just the Google blogs. I've got a couple in Maker Ed. So I've got a series of blogs that I read, and in that I can have them all, or I can just look at specific ones. I can just look at culture. If I'm wanting to take out all of the education ones, I might just want to look at my nerdy comic book stuff and all that. So or if I don't want to look at that, if I just want to look at ed tech, then I'll just click ed tech and I'll look through these. And you can see when you see it on your iPad, it takes on a real like magazine kind of appearance, and it's very, it's really easy to get through it. The other thing that Feedly will do is it'll introduce you over here on the right to other blogs that are similar to the ones that you already subscribe to. Okay, so it does make it pretty easy. So what I'd like to share with you then is now if I'm over here on my page, and if you've gone through the process of checking out Feedly, now you can scroll up a little bit and look at this list. And this is kind of to me, this is like a starter list. Okay, this is a little bit of a starter list of blogs that that I feel are interesting. Maybe a couple of them are from friends of mine, but now you kind of get a chance to kind of look through here. And let's say that here's a so Will Richardson. We saw him earlier in that video, and so this is his blog. Just today, he wrote on how schools are stuck. And this yesterday on Mohammed Ahmed, none of the teachers know what I can do. The crappy moment of shift. He's like blogging just about every day. And so, he's someone that I love to read. And so if I just go ahead and highlight the URL of the site and copy it, then come over to Feedly, and in the search bar, I just paste it in. It just generates it right there. I look at this, I press the plus Feedly button, I add it to education, and now that's part of my Feedly. Okay, and then again, giving me other opportunities over here to look at other blogs that are in these in this realm. The other thing it does, it gives me shared collections. So here's a guy that's got a shared collection. If I click on that, I can see the blogs that he follows. The Electric Educator. I have never heard of this one. I might check that out. So this is how now true PLN works. Is Nishant Mehta. I have no idea who this guy is, where he's from, but I've now accessed his group of education blogs. He just wrote a collection of the best education blogs I read in my Feedly. He's got 107 feeds in here, and I can look through here now. I look at this Electric Educator site and Google certifications, why I love the Chromebook. It's a lot of Google stuff. I'm really interested in it. I'm going to add that one, and I'm going to add it to my ed tech category. Okay, so by looking at his blogs, I can now start adding to my own. So something that someone else found, I'm now privy to, and I can add to mine. And when I add it to mine, now he has influenced my learning. And he'll never know what happened. You know what I mean? It just happened because I stumbled upon his grouping of education blogs. Okay, it's a bit of a it can be a bit of a wormhole that you fall down looking through a lot of this stuff. You know, if you're, I'm not only like a nerd for cultural stuff, nerd culture, but I'm like a teacher nerd. I will fall into and read things that people have written about education for a couple hours, and then I'll just kind of like wake up with a start after like so I'm like on an ed tech bender, you know? So it becomes kind of a cool thing that I've just added to because I've found his site. I've now added to mine. So when I look through here now, I've got my ed tech category highlighted. I've got 25 unread articles. I can always come up to the gear here and I can make some changes. Okay, if anything's older than a week, I can mark it as red. I can read the oldest ones first. I can look at it in different ways, title only, the magazine format, or as cards. Okay, or as just full articles. So I can look at it at my feeds in different ways. Okay. And when I actually get into one, so here's educational technology and mobile learning. Okay, now I can start looking at them and it'll prompt me to visit the website and I can go check that out real quick. Okay, so I want you to, I'm going to give you, let's say, till 8 o'clock, so 24 minutes, to look through the blogs that I have listed here. I also have here a link to EdTech Magazine's top 50 ed bloggers of 2014. So if you open that up, you're going to see a bunch of different educator blogs. And comb through these a little bit. See if there's anything that appeals to you. If you're into librarian tech, there's the Daring Librarian. And man, that's a colorful site. But you can kind of take a look at different people's blogs. And if they appeal to you, you can go ahead and copy the URL, head back into Feedly, and add that. See, now look, this is one of the cool things about Feedly is that I have a site that looks like this, and it's a little intense for me to look at. There's a lot of business going on here. But when I take the Daring Librarian and I put her into Feedly, it makes it a little easier to figure out what I want to read and what I don't want to read, because I can really see it. Okay, I can really kind of, they're parsed out. You know, and if I put them like that, I put them in cards. I can put them in cards instead of, whoa, look at all that business, right? So yeah, let's go ahead and take till 8 o'clock. So now it's 22 minutes to investigate some educational blogs and add them to your Feedly. And when you get done with that, you can pop into our Google Plus community. So we've got a link to our Google Plus community. And under community discussion number 2, EduBlog,
Okay.
you can scroll down. Share your first impressions of a blog that you find, both positive and negative, for an EduBlog share, and share the link to that blog. So let's say that I did choose, where is she? The Daring Librarian. I grab her URL. I come into our Google Plus community. I click on CD number 2, EduBlog, and I share that link. Paste that link right in there, the Daring Librarian, and I share, and then I share it. Okay, and just what my impressions are of it, both good and bad. Okay, there's some interesting looking articles, but the interface is really busy. Way too much to look at for me. All right, so I'm gonna pop back in here real quick. Any questions? All right, let's say, because I talked for an extra few minutes, let's say work on this till 8:05. Back at 8:05. All right, 8:05. Let's get back started. Anything anybody wants to share in a chat or open your mic? Or I saw that a few of you posted in the community. Got some good stuff in there. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's see. Okay. I saw that a few of you got your blogs posted in the community. That's cool. Those of you that got them in there, Megan, Diane, Nancy, I +1'd you. That's the Google Plus version of like. You've been +1'd. So let's move forward now. So that's the first element, is reading. Okay, so you've been either introduced or reintroduced to the robust world of educational blogs. The next element of the 3 is to tweet, and we did some Twitter coverage already, so I'm gonna skim through Twitter pretty quickly. I will reiterate though that Twitter, like no other social network, really is the one that is going to connect you more than any other one with educators, and it all kind of revolves around hashtags. So if I'm looking at Twitter, and there's something that interests me, like let's say that I'm interested in Google stuff. So I just do a search for Google. I can start looking at some different things that people are posting on Google about Google, things that have Google in it. And there's a lot. I mean, look, you can see it in a lot of different languages, right? A lot of people posting on Google, and so this is kind of the Wild West right here. I don't know how much I'm going to find that's fruitful. Okay. Oh, here's one. When I say teachers don't teach anymore, I'm not exaggerating. They seriously don't. They just tell us to search it up on Google or library. So there you go. So Google's kind of the Wild West, but if I type in Google up here, I might get it auto-filled here, and there's Google for Education. So maybe I click on that, and this takes me right to the Google for Education page. And I can start looking and looking on the Google for Education page. And then I see there's a hashtag Google EDU, and so maybe I click on that, and now I see that people are posting, and I always click on live because it gives me a live feed. Now I'm seeing that there's a lot of people posting with the Google EDU hashtag. Stay up to date with Google Calendar extensions. Alternative to this to subscribe to post button. What's new in Google Apps? So there's a lot of different, I'm seeing now a lot of things that I'm more connected to than just kind of the Google Wild Wild West. So now I can start finding a lot of different interesting resources that have to do with Google and education. Or let's say I want to look up, not a hashtag here, but science curriculum. Okay, and I can start looking at, what different people are posting about science curriculum. Okay, and maybe it'll be stuff that I'm not interested in, but I just keep looking, right? And if I find, here's 77 science activities for illustrating Bible lessons. And now maybe I jump on this link, and this link actually takes me to Pinterest. So, there's a lot of different ways that Twitter can play out, and you can actually use Twitter to find things that are immediate and interesting and connect to what you're doing in the classroom. Back to here. We're not going to watch this video. It's pretty long, but it's really interesting. I'm going to leave this for you to chew on if you just can't get enough of PLN and Twitter. This is a video, basically a screencast with two of the founders of the first EdChat. It's just hashtag EdChat, and really kind of breaking down social networking for teachers. If we watched it right now, not only would you probably fall asleep, but I might as well. So what I would like you to do is to go to twitter.com. If you already have a Twitter account, go ahead and log into Twitter. If you do not have a Twitter account, go ahead and sign up for Twitter. One of the things you'll find if you're just signing up today, and I'm going to use my APU email because I've never signed up with this. Tailor Twitter based on my recent website visits, maybe not, and I'll go ahead and sign up. Create a password. And a username at mroundsAPU. How about that? All right, we're glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here too. You can be interested in something or not. Suggestions for you. Look at that. My first suggestion is me. It's going to pre-select them all for you, but I'm just going to unselect them and continue. You can upload a photo. If you don't upload a photo of yourself, you're just going to be an egg. That's how Twitter demarcates you as an egg. And it's going to show you that right there, your egg. You can find people you know in Gmail or all that, or you can skip that step too. They found people I know that keep trying to get me to follow people, and I don't want to follow anybody yet. And they're going to set up Twitter for you. So they sent a confirmation. Where's my Gmail? Go ahead and confirm my Twitter account. I'm going to do that. All right, and there I am. Brand new Twitter user. Okay, that's me right there. I'm a red egg or a white egg on a red background. And so now as a brand new Twitter user, I need to figure out who to follow. Okay, luckily for you, I've got a little GIF for you here. On my web page, if you can look back at our Hangout, underneath that YouTube video that we're not going to watch, there's a little paragraph. As soon as you have your Twitter account, I would like you to add at least 10 members to your network by following them. These members can be fellow students, teachers, or anyone that can give you information on education. And I have the list right here. So if you click on that link, it'll open up a list of, that I just made an EDUC 515 list of people who are just kind of good people to follow, good people or entities to follow. So if you really want to follow what's going on at the Marzano Research Laboratory, okay, kind of educational theory and research, you can just click on follow. Okay, if you want to follow Sir Ken Robinson, there he is. I can click on him and see what he's tweeting. Or what he's retweeting. Or what he's linking to. And if it's something that I'm interested in, I can come up to his page and follow him. And then go back to the list. If I want to see what Adam Bellow's tweeting about, there's just a list of people. Okay, maybe that interests me, and so I follow. Or if you're daring and you're trusting, you can just kind of go down the list and follow, 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 follow. You can play follow Twitter roulette, right? Always knowing that it's not like seriously Twitter roulette, because you can always unfollow whoever you want. But if you follow all 30 of these, I guarantee before long you'll find something of interest to you. So I just followed all 30. I go back to my home page, and now I've got a Twitter feed that is full of people. Now, one of the first things I have here, actually, the first thing I have is a commercial, is an ad for Flonase. Okay? So again, this is Twitter making, money, right? By embedding a little bit of a tweet from Flonase, even though I didn't ask for it. You can see right here, promoted by Flonase. And it's got a little kind of hidden dismiss button that I just clicked. So the first tweet that is open to me after I followed all that is the key to creative classrooms. Okay, Kyle Pace tweeted out a link to an Edutopia article. So I can click on that, it'll open up, and I can, right away read a brand new article written by Melissa Goodwin about the key to creative classrooms, written today. Okay, so, and now this is where kind of things start getting interesting, is I'm like, okay, Edutopia, huh? This is pretty interesting. Blog, is it a blog? Yeah, it's a blog, so maybe I now look in here and I see there's a couple articles on here that I'm interested in. So I copy that, come over to my Feedly, pop in uh, the Edutopia URL into the search bar, and here's Edutopia's blog, and I'm now going to put them in my Feedly. So now I've used Twitter, like right as I signed up, I'm using Twitter, which points me to a blog article on creative classrooms. I then look at Edutopia and see maker education, instructional coaching, empowering students through multimedia storytelling, establishing a culture of student voice. This blog is right up my alley, so I bring it over to my reader, my RSS reader, my blog reader, and now it's part of my PLN, part of what I read, or part of the magazine that I've created out of a bunch of different blogs. Okay, so somebody cool posted a picture of kids praying to the Wi-Fi gods, right? They're trying to catch a strong Wi-Fi signal. That's kind of cute. TouchCast is an awesome iPad app for student creation. If I have iPads in the classroom, there's a good hint. 10 tips for teachers with one-to-one this fall. So if you have one computer per kid, there's another ad from HP that I'm going to dismiss. Okay, teaching with games. If you're interested in gamifying education, on 9/22 at 7 p.m. Pacific time, connected TL chat. So there you go. There's another Ed chat you can look at on the 22nd, which I think is Tuesday at 7 Pacific. All right, so I'm getting a lot of different resources here. Richard Byrne, who is the author of that Free Tech for Teachers blog, he's tweeted out an hour ago, 5,200 people have downloaded the Practical EdTech Handbook. Have you? Well, I know I haven't. I'll click on the link and see what it's all about. So he has a free handbook on digital technology, on digital technology integration. So look at that. It's 30 pages of EdTech stuff, a handbook. Weebly for Android. Create managed sites on your tablet. Okay, so I just signed up for Twitter. I followed 30 people and I'm already finding resources that I can use. Okay, and that's how Twitter works. And I'm telling you, I use it all the time. All the time. All right, where's my there it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of flow through the rest of the content on the page tonight and get to our assignment. And then whenever I finish, I will cut you loose to play around with Twitter for the rest of the night. Okay, so as I go through the rest of the content, just know that you are responsible or semi-responsible for engaging with Twitter until about 9:30 or so. Okay, educational chats, really covered that, took a good look at that. I do suggest that if you can, Sunday night at 8 o'clock, jump into or just, lurk, or if you feel bold enough, jump right in to California Ed Chat. And if you're new to teaching, if you're not in a classroom yet or just started in a classroom, NT Chat is New Teacher Chat, and that's Wednesday evenings at 5. That's a good chat too. All right. As I scroll down the page, What I have here, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but this is from last Sunday's California Ed Chat, and it had to do with reimagining school. And these are the questions. There were 7 questions. And what I have embedded here underneath it is from an app called Storify. And what Storify will do is it'll take tweets and put them in kind of a story, basically. So what I have here is a list of the tweets from that Ed Chat. This is what I was going to go through before I decided to jump into some actual live chats. But if you wanted to take a look at the flow of a California Ed Chat, you can take a look at this. All right, so we have reading and we have tweeting. The last element of developing your PLN is to archive or curate. Okay, archiving and curating resources. Okay, so you have a great network of people who follow on Twitter, getting a bunch of resources. Now, what do you do with all these resources? Okay, I know that I already mentioned the idea of, as I come back to my my main Twitter page. Okay, that I can favorite a lot of stuff. Okay, and so this favoriting things on Twitter is kind of a curation. I'm sort of curating different things, but there are easier and more refined ways of curating. My phone just told me that my contact Mark Rounds is now on Twitter because I just joined under my APU address. That's pretty funny. So there are different things that you can use to curate. Okay, the one that I use the most these days is Pinterest. Okay, and so as Pinterest is, it's a virtual pin board basically. And those of you that aren't using it, I know a lot of people are, and a lot of people use it for their social needs, for what they're doing in in their personal lives. Okay, I use Pinterest really for education, and it is a great tool for curating different things in education. So these are just web tools, right? Tools that are on the web. Canva, which is, I don't want to log in right now. Leave me alone. Gonna force me to log in. Okay. Okay, so I've got the web tools here. There's a lot of different tools in here. As far as my boards are concerned, I use a lot of infographics in my teaching, so I have a board that's full of different infographics, right? So if I find a cool infographic online somewhere, I will bring it into Pinterest, and it's really as easy as, let's see, this site usually has educational technology and mobile learning, usually has a lot of cool infographics on it. Except for when I really want to find one. There you go, EdTech infographics. Okay, so here's one. True facts about teens and media now and then. So I've got this infographic, 95, 2005, 2015, and it's all about teenagers and how they use media. And so this looks like an infographic that I might use at some point because I not only have my own teenagers in my house, but I teach teenagers. So next, on just about all blogs, there are these, I can like it, I can tweet it, I can pin it. Okay, so if I click on pin it, okay, I can choose to pin this. I put it in my infographics board. And I've just curated that infographic. I'll do a little refresh there, and there it is. Okay, so in that way, I pull together a lot of different resources that I might use, that I'm going to use at a different time. Okay, and this gives me a clearinghouse for things that I've already seen and liked and wanted to keep. So I know whenever if I'm just scanning the web for stuff and I find a cool infographic and I drop it, I pin it to my infographics board, then I know that it'll always be there and I can always go back and find it there. The same way that, find a cool pumpkin bread recipe and you pin it and you go back and look for it. Okay, so with boards like Maker for the classroom, I did a remodel of my bathroom, so that's kind of personal. Interesting educational videos, CTEL resources, Common Core, Google Education, Art Class, Minecraft EDU, Sammer. There's just different ways that to pull together information and items from the web. Now Pinterest is mainly a site for graphics or videos and things like that. So it'll always need to grab onto an image or a video to be able to pin it. But it's a great tool for curating. Scoop It is another tool that I used. Scoop It has a little bit of a different look to it. It has kind of these little cards. And this is another way, that when I find cool tools on the web, I will drop it into Scoop It, and they'll always be here for me and for other people who follow me on Scoop It. I've had, what is that, 8,500 views of this board. So, there have been people that have been able to access stuff that I've curated. Same thing as Pinterest, right? You rarely find original things on Pinterest as things that other people have pinned from other people. Okay, so there are a lot of different tools out there that you can use, not only to collect different elements that you find on the web that you can use in your classroom, but also to share and connect with other people that are looking for the same types of things. That's the power of PLN, is not only learning yourself, but sharing and being a teacher and a learner. All right, let's look at our assignment. So your assignment this week is just a blog entry. Okay, blog entry number 2. Okay, and so there are 5 different elements to this assignment. Okay, number 1 has to do with Twitter. After experiencing what other educators are tweeting, you should have a decent idea of something to tweet that has to do with something educational. A thought that you might have about the state of education, something you're doing in your classroom. It's always awesome to include a picture when you do that, sharing a resource, etc. I would like for you to tweet something and then include your tweet in your blog post and write a short reflection on the experience, why you posted what you posted, what kind of tweeter you envision yourself as. Do you envision yourself as someone who shares a lot? Do you envision yourself as someone who takes a lot? Do you envision yourself as someone who, guys, this is also overwhelming. I don't know that I can even deal with using it. Okay? This entry is really, it's not about telling me what you think I want to hear. It's about being honest about your experience with all of this. Okay, second element is to define what a PLN is. Reflect on some of the people you decided to put in your PLN and explain how your PLN will help you as a teacher. So this is where that Will Robinson video can come into play. If you were able to take any notes on it, then you can utilize those notes in this part of your blog post. Number 3 is to participate in an education-based Twitter chat. Okay, the biggest one is EdChat. That's Tuesdays at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. The most local, like I mentioned, is California EdChat, which are Sundays at 8. The Great Chat for New Teachers, the other one I mentioned was NT Chat, New Teacher Chat, Wednesdays at 5. Discuss your participation in an educational chat, whether you jumped in and participated or just lurked. List the chat, the topic, the date, and the time of the discussion, and write a reflection on the experience. Okay, and that's good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, if it didn't do anything for you, then it's okay to say that. Okay. Number 4, join a Pinboard or curation site, Pinterest or Scoopit or any of those. If you already have a Pinterest account, you may create an education-related board or boards. Discuss your use of virtual pinboard and or a content curation site as a networking tool, who you follow and why. And this doesn't have to be necessarily education related. You can, if you're on Pinterest and you're using it for other things, go ahead and discuss what you use it for. And then I want you to take at least one screenshot of any of the above tools and put it in your post as an image. Okay, so that if you're on Twitter and you're taking a look at your Twitter here, you can go ahead and, if you're taking a screenshot on a Mac is a little easier. You can use the clipping tool on a PC, but if you're on a Mac, if you hit Shift Command 4, it'll give you these little crosshairs, and you can just snap a picture and then pull that into your blog post. I know I did not cover how to do that, so let me do that for you real quick. I'm going to jump into Weebly. I'm going to create a new post. Post title, my shiny new PLN. Okay, so, I'm going to bring in a title. Obviously, I'm going to drag in some text. I'm going to do some writing, and then I want to bring in an image, and it's pretty simple. There's the image building block here. You just drag that little guy in, and then you just upload an image the same way you'd upload an image from anywhere. And I know that mine is on my desktop. Open up and bring that in, and there's my big image of the screenshot that I just took. Knowing that if I click on it, gives me the little box down here, so I can resize it. It doesn't have to be so huge, right? I can resize it, play around with it a little bit. Okay, I can also have it justified right, center, or left. I can put a caption under it. Okay, my first day on Twitter. Give a little caption. Boom, so it drops a little caption under there. So it's pretty simple to bring in an image. All right, I think, let's look at it real quick. Yep, that's the whole assignment. So let's jump back into our Hangout. Any questions about the assignment? Or any of the stuff we've talked about or experienced? All right, it's pretty cool. It's always cool when I see, I had just a couple of students in the last session of this that I taught that really got into the EdChat thing, and I still see them all the time in some of the different EdChats that I'm in. So that's always a pretty cool thing. So the rest of your evening until 9:30 should be spent combing through Twitter, going through a lot of the different elements, getting into Pinterest, doing some diving into your PLN, your personal learning network, and getting some of that experience in. If you have yet to respond to the blog posts of your classmates, you can jump onto their blogs via the blog roll, and remember, we're responding to at least 2. Okay, we're responding to at least 2 of the people in your PLN, and in the class of their blogs, and I think that's it. It's been a long day, people. I left the house this morning at 6:15, teaching all day, teaching all night. I'm a little so thanks for hanging in there with me. And as always, if you have any questions during the week, please email me, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Other than that, you all have a great night and a great, oh, it's Friday tomorrow, great weekend. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Good night.